Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about guide to write CV, write an ATS-compliant CV. So I've been getting a lot of messages from people, they finished their learning and they still can't get a job, and it's so sad because at the long run, what's the point of learning if it is not for you to get a job? So, I discovered that a lot of people, they are just there, no job. It's not because of lack of skills or anything. They don't just know how to do it. And if you ask them, what have they been doing to get a job? So most of them will be like, okay, I've paid somebody to write my CV for me, or I saw a CV online and I've used the format to write my own and stuff like that. You see all different complaints, different answers, and at the long run you discover that they are doing it wrong, and doing it wrong in the sense that they don't have a CV, they don't know how to write the CV, and by not knowing all those things, they're already in loss, because you cannot apply for any job and you expect to get a response back when you don't know how to write the CV. So guys, let's share the live. Welcome guys, let's share the live, let's share and let's like. So the point the today's guide is how to write the CV, and what people have been doing is sending a generic CV, which will never work at all. People have been using generic CV and they go online, or they have just one single CV. You ask them, where's your CV? They have it, just like their certificate, which doesn't work at all. Some even come and say, okay, can you help me edit my CV? Can you do this? Can you look into my CV? Let me look at it. Is it okay? Is it fine? As a data analyst, or you are looking to get job, things like that will not work again. This is the 21st century and this is 2025. I don't expect anybody to be paying anybody to get their CV done for them. It's something you can do for yourself. You don't need to be paying anybody to get your CV done for you. So it is something you yourself can do, and once you know how to do that, it will be easy for you to apply for any job. It will be easy for you to apply for any job, and once you know how to write the CV, it will also help you in preparing for interview, because the way it's structured is that CV is like a proposal to put you in front of the recruiters or the employers and say, okay, I know how I can do these things. I know how this thing you need help with. I can do it. I have these skills and stuff like that. So the interview is to actually meet with you, converse with you, and see if you know what you're saying. So if you don't have the right CV, how are you going to get into the interview? So one thing is that there's a system in place right now, which is ATS, application tracking system. So all companies, almost all major companies have it, and what it does is that it filters out CVs that are not compliant. Like they have some keywords, some list of keywords they would like to see in their CV. In your CV, they have some list of keywords they are expected to see in your CV. So once all those things are not there, definitely your CV is not going to fly. And that is why you see a lot of unfortunately. Then you need to start thinking of how you are going to do things differently. You need to start thinking of how you are going to do things differently. So guys, let's like the live and let's share. Let's like and let's share. So the way we're going to start is how to actually build out the CV, and the structure of the CV is actually straightforward. The structure of the CV is to have your demographics, which is your name, your phone number, your email address, and if you have a LinkedIn profile, a link to your LinkedIn profile, and if you don't have that, you should have your link to your portfolio. So one of the two has to be on your profile, or if not the two. Do you understand now? There should be a link to your profile. There should be a link to your portfolio. So after that, you have a personal summary that will explain why you are qualified for the job. So the work of the personal summary is to explain why you are qualified for the job, or why you are the best candidate for them to pick. So all these things once you have this, the next thing you have is your professional experience. And once you have your professional experience, that is where you are going to list all the things you have done, all the experience you have, and how those experience matches what the company is looking for. So if all those things are not in line, they are not connecting at all, definitely your CV is not going to fly. So after that, you have your education. After your personal experience or your experience, you have your education, and after your education, you have your skills. And the skills can be divided into two. We have the technical skills, and we have the soft skills. So the technical skills are where you're going to list all the software you know how to use and all the kind of analysis experience or anything you have. So that is where you are going to list it in this technical skills. But in the soft skill, you are going to list things like your interpersonal relationship, how you connect with people, your communication skills, your ability to manage people, and the skills you have to manage conflicting priorities or ability to meet deadlines. So that is where your soft skills comes in. So then you have your certification. So your certification is, if you have any certification, sometimes maybe Power BI certification, Azure, or even if you don't have a degree, you can use maybe a certification that you have done. So yes, I'll be showing us how to build this from scratch. So, and I'm showing you my own idea, my own way of doing it. So like I said, your CV should not be just one single CV. It is not your certificate. Do you understand right now? So your CV will always be changing. So let me give you an example of my own. So these are the list of CVs that I have. So it's always changing based on the jobs that I've applied for. So I'll be building one for us from scratch. And for us to build one from scratch, we need to look at a job website. So before we start building CV, there are different websites to look for job. I think I've made a video about that. So the first website is this UK website. If you go to findajob.dwp.gov.uk, so this is for UK website. So there are civil service websites where you can look for job, and there's also NHS. This is actually one of the biggest employer in the UK. So there's NHS and there's HSCNI, there's Glassdoor, there's Indeed, there's LinkedIn, and there's another one called Jungle. Welcome to the Jungle. So for us to start, so let's pick a particular job. Let's try and apply for a particular job. So the first one, let me pick this one. I think today is 17. This has expired already. So let me just change the date. Let me change the date to most recent. So most of this job has expired yesterday. Let me change the date. So I'm trying to look for one that has not expired yet. So most of them expired yesterday. Oh, sorry, most of them were posted yesterday. I thought expired. So let me pick this one. So just pick one. The data analyst. So I'm trying to avoid people that are okay. I think I see one. So I'm trying to avoid recruiters because there are a lot of recruiters online, and when you apply for job, the problem with recruiters is that they might not have the job. They will just post job, and when you apply for those job, they will take your CV. If it isn't something of interesting, they will take your CV, they will keep it, and once they have anything, they will call you up. Most of the time I don't really fancy that. So this is actually a job, and we can see the posting date, so the closing date. So the first thing we need to look at is the summary of the job. So it is very important. So the summary of the job is that this Vocal Wholesales UK is a market leading contracting group for 5. So we provide integrated groundbreaking solution to. So they will tell you what they do, and from there they will tell you what they are expecting for you to be able to do for them. So if you pay attention now, so reporting into our data architect, you will be accountable for data assets with our presentational layer. So this includes maintenance and growth of our data warehouse, supporting business functions by building an effective data mart, and developing and maintaining semantic models in collaboration with our report writer. So all these ones now, the next thing is that they will tell you what you should be your responsibility. So responsibility is that what are the things you'll be doing for them, the core functions you'll be doing for them, the core work you'll be doing for them. And after that again, they will say about you yourself, what should you have for you to be qualified for this job. So those are the things you need to know. What should you have for you to qualify for this job? And what some of the things you need to have for you to qualify for this job is that you must demonstrate experience as a data analyst in Azure environment for medium or large organization. So preferable to have Azure qualification. So this one now, if you don't have the qualification, it is not a must, it is preferable. So you need to have master's or bachelor's degree in relevant subjects or equivalent on the job experience or professional certification. So sometimes if you don't have master's, you need to have bachelor's degree. If you don't have that, you need to have the equivalent on job experience. So most of the time it's usually like maybe 5 years. Do you understand now? But if you have like maybe a year or 2 years experience, you can apply for this job with your master's or bachelor's degree or professional certification. So if you have done certification like maybe Azure, Power BI, or even Google certification, Google Data Analytics certification, you can apply for this. Strong demonstration experience. And so why work with us? So they'll tell you the kind of companies they are and something like that. So it is important you pay attention to this, because some questions like this come up in interview that what do you know about us, or what can you say about the company. So to apply for this job now, let me click on apply for this job. So let me continue on this thing. So reject online session. So this one now, this company now, they have their own list of something for you to apply for. So there are different methods. So some companies will have it like this, that you don't need to upload your CV, you just come here. So let's assume that we need to upload our CV, so that I'll just explain to us how to build a CV, and from there we'll come back to this place and fill. So for us to build a CV, let me do this. Okay, so what I go to is I go to Google Docs, I'll start with a blank canvas. So the next thing I'll do, like I said, is the first thing is your demographics, your name and everything like that. Please, let's like the live. So for example, this is my own name. So and you put your surname there. So the next thing is your details. So usually it should be the location you are and the country. So for example, Belfast, UK. And the next thing is your phone number. You need to have your phone number. So let me just say phone number, and then you need to have your email address, and then your LinkedIn profile. So guys, let's like the live, let's like. So the next thing again is that if you have your portfolio, link to your So, and after that, the next thing that will come in is your personal summary. So this time around, I don't usually write personal summary as an heading. So what I just do is just type personal summary. So how do you get your personal summary? So it's usually from the job you are trying to apply for, and you combine what is written as the job summary or what the job is looking for. You combine it with your own experience. So for example, if you read the job, so they will say about you. So you have demonstrated experience as a data analyst in Azure environment for medium or large organization, preferable to have Azure certification or for qualification or certification for data analyst. So the way you start is something like maybe a highly skilled. So this is a draft. We will still format after the drafting. So this is how you say a highly skilled data analyst with, I said you combine it with your experience. So for me now, I can say I have 6 years experience. So you say with over 6 years experience, 6 years of experience in data analysis, and let me add visualization. So the main reason why I'm adding visualization is that if you see the job title is data analyst Power BI. So mostly what you'll be doing is Power BI. You'll be doing most of Power BI for this kind of job. Mostly that's what you'll be doing. So and Power BI is of visualization. Do you understand now? Power BI is of visualization. So that's why I'm adding visualization to it. So let me continue right now. So So you see where I'm getting my personal summary is from what they are writing here about you. About you is that the kind of person we want in our own, we want for this role. That's the meaning of that about you. Sometimes some of them will put it in the job summary, but you need to know where to find it. Is either they will put something like about you or they will put it in the job summary. So it is important you know where to get something like that. So thank you to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So from there now, it is not yet finished. So because you see they said you should have experience in Azure environment for medium or large organization. So from here now, I'm just trying to think of how to build it. So I am proficient. I'll just say I'm proficient in cloud technology, especially in Microsoft Azure, and if you have certification, you can put it there whether you are certified in it. So for example, I'm not certified in Azure, but I know how to work with Azure. I'm not certified in it, so there's no need to put it there. And again, in the job description, it's already saying preferably. It is not a must. Do you understand now? It's just saying preferably. I'm not sure how can I zoom it. So let me see. Can I zoom it? I'm just seeing if I can zoom it. Is it better right now? Can you guys see it now? So the job specify that preferably if you have Azure qualification. So I don't really have Azure qualification, so I'll just skip that. So the next thing is that they are talking about master's or bachelor's degree in relevant subject or equivalent on the job experience, or the equivalent on the job experience or professional certification. So that is why I used to tell people that sometimes it's not about maybe having masters or something like that. Even your bachelor's degree is enough, and if you don't have a bachelor's degree, what you can do again is the certification you have. So sometimes the advice I give to self-taught data analysts is that at least get some certification. Maybe if it is Google data analysis certification. I have something like that when I was starting out before I did my masters. So even if it's something like that, and if you don't have all those things, if you have a degree or a qualification in STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you do mathematics, statistics, engineering, or even something like maybe science related, maybe SLT, something like that. If you have all those things, it is enough for you to put as this now. So the next thing is that before I move on, I will just say, I can't just say I'm proficient in cloud technology, especially in Microsoft Azure. So what are the things that I do in Microsoft Azure? I can just input some of it here now. So I can just say leveraging tools in leveraging tools like Azure SQL. So Azure SQL, and there's what we call Azure Synapses. So as I'm calling all these things now, it says that you need to be familiarized with. So because, for example, in Azure, there are some things that are there that are just, as a data analyst, you need to understand in Azure. So Azure SQL, Azure Synapses, and also maybe and also Power BI. Let me add Power BI because Power BI is part of the thing they needed, and Power BI. So what I've done so far, let me just explain. I just highlight myself that I am a highly skilled data analyst with over 6 years of experience, because they need experience in data analysis and visualization, because the job is mainly going to focus on Power BI. So, and they said in the about you now, there's this thing they are asking the kind of person they are looking for this role is somebody that must demonstrate experience as a data analyst, which I've done with saying over 6 years experience, and somebody that must have Azure environment. It must be an Azure environment. So, and I've demonstrated that by saying I am proficient in cloud technology, especially in Microsoft Azure, leveraging tools like, let me show you, tools like Azure SQL, Azure Synapses, and Power BI. So the next thing now, if you look at what is next now, they are talking about masters or bachelor. So they need my qualification. So it is important to put your highest qualifications here if that's what you have. So my highest qualification is master. So I'll just say I have a master's degree, in data science. So guys, let's like the lights. Data science. So I'll just say the things that I have learned in the master's degree. I have master's degree in data science, and the things that I've learned in master's degree now, in my master's degree, I'll just maybe give it a simple summarization and say which has provided me with, which has provided me with let's say maybe provided me with a strong foundation. So I'm trying to build this thing off, and so sometimes you have to pardon because you have to read over it again and patch some things that are not maybe making sense. So a strong foundation in statistics, mathematics, and I think, let me just add a simple programming language so that they know that with my experience I'm not just like that. So mathematics, and a programming and programming language like Python. So I'm programming language like Python. So The next thing, let me read it again. A highly skilled data analyst with over 6 years of experience in data analysis and visualization. So they said, okay, I'm proficient in cloud technology, especially in Microsoft Azure, leveraging tools like Azure. So the next thing, I have masters. Let me do this. I have a master's degree in data science, which has provided me with a strong foundation in statistics, mathematics, and programming language, and a programming language like Python. So the next thing is that if I look at the about you, they talk something about strong demonstrable experience of working with internal stakeholders. So I have to then rewrite it again. A highly skilled data analyst with over 6 years of experience in data analysis and visualization, and also, let me just put it here, and also working with both external and internal stakeholders. So the main reason why all these things are like this is that we are trying to ensure that we get keywords. Whatever we are putting in our personal summary, we get this keyword from the job description. It's not just something we just pick from our head. So everything that will be in our personal summary must be in part of the job description. If you look at about you of the job now, so those are the things that we have put there. So the next thing is that, I told us that we'll start with our demographics, which is our name, address, phone number, email, LinkedIn profile, and also portfolio, link to portfolio. And the next thing is our personal summary. So after our personal summary, we have our professional experience. So, and to the way professional experience work is that we are going to list places that we have worked, and we are going to list them in bullet points. So the professional experience, so for now we just write everything straightforward, and I'll format them for you, so it will become a template for you. So the next thing is professional experience. It's meant to be professional experience. So the next thing is that you yourself will know places where you have worked. And you are trying to ensure that we should ensure that our CV does not pass 2 pages. Unless you have like maybe 10 years experience, 15 years experience, then you can go as far as possible. But for now, I'm not 10 years experience already, so I will try and ensure that my CV is in no more than 2 pages. So for my professional experience now, it will go from the latest to the earliest. Do you understand now? So that means what I'm doing presently now, where I'm working now, or where I've worked, I want to transition into this new company that I'm applying for. So I'll start with where I'm working right now. So for me now, you come with the name of the company first. So the name of my company, let me just say healthcare industry. I'm just trying to put something generic. I'm not trying to put my company's name now. So healthcare, why is this thing doing like this? So healthcare industry. Healthcare industries, and after that it will have that's the name of the company. Then you follow it by the address of the company, the city where the company is, and also the country. So for example now, let's say Belfast, and then I'll say UK. So the next thing is you tell us the month and year you started with that company. So for example, let me say December 2024, and say since I'm still working with them, I'll just say present. So this is where it now gets tricky. You see what they are asking for now. They are asking for data analyst, and they put into bracket Power BI. So for example, my role in this company now is senior data analyst. So let me just say, I'll just put it there, senior data analyst. Power BI. So before I start listing what are the things that I've done, I have to, under each profession now, I have to have at least 7 or at most 7 and at least maybe 5 bullet points of things that I've done in that company. So for now, I'm not going to list that because it is ChatGPT that will be doing that for me. So that after that, I'll fine tune it to what I want. So that is first company. So the second one that I've worked for, let me say it's an healthcare company too. Let me just say health tech. So I'll still build all these things. I'm just trying to give you the overview of everything. Health tech limited. So after that, it will follow the address, the city, let me say Delhi and UK. So the next thing is what's the dates that I've worked there. So the dates, let me just say, maybe I'll put something like I worked there for, let me say, for a year. I worked there for a year. So I'll put something like, maybe it should be November, okay, let me say December 2023 to December 2024. December 2024. December 2024. What was my role there? My role was data analyst. I'll just put Power BI in front. So the reason why I'm doing this is that I'm trying to match my role to what the role that has been advertised. Do you understand now? So I can work for this company as a BI developer, but since I'm applying for this new company, everything I'm going to list will have to be data analyst. Because if I'm trying to list something else, like I said, there's an ATS, there's an application tracking system that tracks how many keywords do I have in my CV compared to the job role that they have put out. Do you understand now? If those things are not matching, and they usually have maybe the number of keywords they feel should match. Do you understand now? And the exact keyword they're also looking for. So that is why you should try as possible to mirror everything on the job description to your CV. That is why I'm saying that your CV is not going to only be one particular CV. Once you build one particular CV, no, you need to build a template. Once you build a template that is ATS, then you will always mirror your CV to that template. So I'll still put Power BI in this, and another one again, let me put another one. I think I'm trying to build the experience as much as possible because, you know, I've said I have over 6 years experience. So all the experience I'm listing here now must go back to 6 years, or at worst 6 years exactly, or can be around 7 years. So like I said, everything has to match. Even though some computer will screen, so it will still get to some people. And if you are writing something and your CV, there's no coordination, or there's no correlation between them, everything is just scattered everywhere. That's where the problem is coming from. So the next thing is that let me put another company. So let me say I just want to put, let's say, Blue Tech. So all these companies I'm putting are hypothetical. This is not where I've worked to, it's just an experience. So Blue Tech Limited. So Blue Tech Limited, let me say London. Let me say London, UK. And when how long did I work for Blue Tech Limited? So let me say I work for Blue Tech Limited. Let's say something like maybe from August to December 2023. So let's say August 2022. August 2022 to December 2023. So guys, let's like the live. Thank you. I really appreciate everybody's efforts. Let's like the live and let's support the live goal also. It's also only one person that has been doing that. Let's support the live goal. That's how you can support me also. Let's like the live. Let's support the live goal. So this one, I can just put data analyst only for here. I'll just put data analyst only for here, so it will still pick up. And let me say I have another company that I've worked for, let's say Ecotech Limited, and let me say I work for this one, the address Lagos, and that is Nigeria, and the date I worked for them will be, let's say from November 2018. So I'm just picking everything so that it will go back to like 6 years ago or probably 7 years ago, so 2018, and it ended August 2022, or let's say maybe July 2022, July 2022, and it will also be data analyst. So the next thing now is that I have built my experience, like different companies that I've worked for now, I've listed them. So the next thing I'm going to do is that for under each company now, I'm going to put my experience, which will be in bullet points. So the way is that I don't do this normally. I just use ChatGPT to do this so that it will not take most of my time. So let me open ChatGPT for us. So ChatGPT. So usually what I will do is that I'll copy the old job description. So I'll copy from the top. Let me show you the job. This is the job. So I'm going to copy from the top. So from this data, just copy everything. So just copy to the end. And once I do that, I'll come back to ChatGPT. So there is usually a prompt that I give to ChatGPT. So the prompt is that I'll write it like this. So you can modify the prompt. It's not compulsory. It has to be my own exactly. So you can modify the prompt. So let's like the live guys and support the live goal. Let's like the live. Tolu, I really appreciate. So I'll give a prompt like, okay, I'll give you a job description. I'll give you a job description. Use the keywords in the job description use the keyword in the job description to build an ATS friendly, or you can use compliant, anyone you feel like. So friendly CV, and sometimes if you require cover letter, because sometimes some jobs you do require cover letter, so I just usually put it there so that I won't have to build the cover letter separately on its own. So let me reduce. So I'll give you a job description. Use the keyword in the job description to build an ATS-friendly CV and cover letter. And cover letter. So ensure that the CV, as for me now, I have like 4 experience, 4 places that I've worked. So if you have like 5 places that you have worked, you can put it there. So for me, I have like 4 places that I've worked. So I'll say the CV, ensure that the CV has 4 professional experience. Professional experiences, and I think is that all. So another thing is that I'll tell you the number of bullet points I want. So not more than 6 bullet points. not more than 6 bullet points, and no internship, because sometimes it does add internship to the what is going to be. No internship. So once I send this, it will ask me to provide the job description. So I'll just paste it there and send it. So it should start loading. So we can see right now, even, I was just building this off head, and if you see what ChatGPT has even generated for us, so I think he puts on one place senior data analyst, and the next one data analyst into bracket Power BI. You see what I was trying to explain, into bracket Power BI. So you should try that everything you are putting on your CV should have the job description, should have most of the keywords in the job description. Are we getting it now? So please, let's like the live and support the live goal. So you see the way I was writing it, like I even explained, because they were looking for experience. If you look at the CV, if you look at the job description, they were looking for experience also. So for the fact that now I'm this senior data analyst, I just put it there, senior data analyst, and after that you see this thing, data analyst, Azure and Power BI. So if you look at the summary that it wrote for us, it said detail oriented and technical skill data analyst with 5 years plus of experience delivering data solution using Power BI, SQL, Azure technologies, proficient in data modeling. So my ChatGPT is free. I don't use paid. I used to subscribe for them, but because of what's the name, DeepSeek. I also use DeepSeek, but for now I'm just using ChatGPT because I know everybody uses ChatGPT. Do you understand now? So I also use DeepSeek, but for now this is ChatGPT. So you see now that everything I was even building off head is almost the same thing with what ChatGPT is already building, or it has already built. So you can see from my own professional summary that I wrote now, it says detail oriented and technical skill data analyst. So for me too, I put like over 5 years experience. So it's just a little bit of something that is different. For example, strong background in collaborating with, you can see that you even said collaborating with cross-functional team. So what you can do now is that you can pick some of this thing and add it back to the CV you have been building. Do you understand now? You can pick some of this thing and add it back. So I think you guys say ChatGPT is the best. So most of the time it depends on what you feel comfortable with actually. So for me, I'm still very comfortable with ChatGPT, and it depends on the kind of what I'm doing, because I used to use ChatGPT, or I do use ChatGPT, DeepSeek and Gemini. So sometimes when I'm working and I need to brainstorm, so I just give them the same prompt and see the mind of them, like what can they bring. Do you understand now? So usually they bring different things, but I usually see that ChatGPT and DeepSeek always have similar answers. So maybe because DeepSeek was first trained on the ChatGPT model. So thank you, President. Thank you for supporting the live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Guys, let's support the live. Let's thank you. So now that we have this professional, what we need from ChatGPT, what we need ChatGPT to do for us is just all these things now. So for the first one, what I'll do is copy this first one. So once I copy this, I'll go back to the first experience and paste it. So the only thing I'll just need to do now is that, you see, one thing is that this thing now is liveless. What I mean by liveless is that it doesn't really speak to anything. It's just generic, like design and maintain semantic model, scalable data mart using Power BI and Azure SQL. It's just generic. Collaborate with business units to translate requirements into effective data models. So it's a bit generic. So what we just need to do is that, let me copy everything, so we then start editing them again. So I'll copy this one too. So under this, the next one, I'll copy this one. So I think the last one, I'll copy it into this. So let me see, we'll still come back to ChatGPT again, because there are some things that ChatGPT has given us that we still need to add into our CV. So for now, let's come to our CV. So for this healthcare industry now, so it said design and maintain semantic model and scalable data mart using Power BI and Azure SQL. So for this one now, it is kind of generic. So the first thing is that if you are writing a CV, you have to personalize it. You have to say I. You have to use the. So he said, but does it not detect that one has used ChatGPT? So that one is actually a different case. That's why I'm saying that you use it to build. How will I say? You use it to build a template for you, just a guide. That's why I'm saying that you change some things. For example, this is just generic. You see the way that ChatGPT has given you, it is generic. So you have to just make some editing to it to make it look more personalized. So for example, now you just add some pronoun to it, like I designed and maintain semantic healthcare, because I work in the healthcare. So I'll just say healthcare semantic data models and scalable data mart using Power BI and Azure. So you see that I've just changed a little bit of things, and since I've changed some little things now, it will not sound robotic again. And for the fact that once they pass it to some AI can detect that this is actually written by another AI. But once you have done a little bit of changes to it now, it will sound more human. Do you understand now? It won't sound robotic again. So let me read this one again. It said, I design and maintain healthcare semantic data models and scalable data mart using Power BI and Azure SQL. So you see now that it has also emphasized that we use Azure SQL, just like as I have written up here now. That you understand now. So Prime Analysis, good evening. I can see you. Thank you. I really appreciate. Thank you. Presido, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. So for now, I have made some changes. So the next thing is that I'll change this one to I collaborate with business units to translate requirements into effective data models. So this one I'll just say I collaborated with different healthcare. So you see the way I'm changing it now, that is the way you'll be changing it. So that it will not sound robotic. You've been having an issue with CV, especially with applying for data analyst role. So that is what we're actually doing on this live. So I'm just showing people how to build a CV, write it, and using AI and making sure it also pass ATS. Do you understand right now? So we have to change this now. I collaborated with different healthcare businesses units to translate healthcare data requirements, or I'm not sure, should I put healthcare to translate health requirements into effective so I'll just say to translate stakeholders requirements. So stakeholders requirements into effective data models. To translate stakeholders requirements into effective data models. So you see that what ChatGPT gave me, I'm changing it so that it doesn't sound robotic and it sound personal and also have life. Because if you just read boom, you just read it and you can't really you can't really relate with it. If you are a recruiter, somebody just said, okay, I collaborated with it, you know, it's not really saying what they are doing or something like that, because in my experience now, I wrote healthcare industry something something, so everything I'm linking in my under it now, everything I've done should have something related to healthcare and, you know, bring out the work that I've really done. So build and validate Power BI dashboard to test model performance and data reliability. So I changed this one to I built and validated Power BI dashboard for healthcare data analysis for healthcare stakeholders. Or let me just change it to our internal stakeholders. For our internal stakeholders, to test model performance and data reliability. So I think I'll have to remove model performance. So I'll just change it to measure, to monitor KPIs, to monitor business KPIs and data reliability. So you have to be adding some changes to it a bit to make it, you know, live. And for this one, so I'll just say I develop and optimize store procedures and SQL views for performance. And reusability of SQL code. So this one, I led and transform efforts to support monthly operational reporting. I led data transformation effort to support monthly operational reporting for both internal and external stakeholders. For both internal and external stakeholders. So this one, it said I provided technical guidance to junior analysts and stakeholders, and also provide demo of different also provided demos of different dashboard to improve understanding among non-technical stakeholders. So in order not to waste time, I will only edit the first one, which is the first professional something. So the remaining one, I'll just leave them the way ChatGPT has given me. Do you understand right now? So I'll just leave them the way ChatGPT has given me. So what we have now is that we have our name, we have our demographics, we have our professional summary. So let me do this. Professional summary. We have our professional summary. We have our professional experience, and the next thing is that we have our experience for all of them. So the next thing we should be looking at is we should have our education. So we have our education. So your education, you have the first thing is the name of the school you went to. Let me just say Cambridge. I didn't go to Cambridge, so don't go and be looking at me. Cambridge University. So the city, let's say London, and the country UK. And after that, what is the title of your degree? My degree is MSc Data Science, and the year you finished. So let's say I finished 2022. So all these are just hypothetical. So the year you finished 2022. So after that, the technical skills is very important. Technical skills. So followed by technical skill. Technical skills. So for the technical skills, I'm not going to list anyone offhand. So I'll just go back to ChatGPT, which has provided me with one. So if I go up, so it has provided me with these technical skills. So I'll just copy all these technical skills ChatGPT has provided for me, because it's everything that is in the job description that ChatGPT has given me as technical skills. So I'll just copy it, technical skill, copy it, and paste it. So after that, after technical skills, so this job description now does not have anything related to soft skills. They are not really, so the soft skills now, they are not really specifying it. Do you understand now? So sometimes if we are asked to have soft skills separately, we can do soft skill. So everything we have now is just based on the job description. Do you understand now? Everything is just based on the job description. So after that, we have to put our certification. So for me now, let me see, did ChatGPT put any certification? So yes, it does put certification. And like I said now, if you see certification ChatGPT is putting, maybe data analyst associate, if you have something like that, fine. Or Azure fundamentals, if you have something like that, that's fine. But if you don't have, so my own certification that I do have, certification. So certification, so it's usually my Google data analytics specialization. So where I got it from is from Coursera, and the year I got it was January. Let me say January, year and month you got it 2022. So your CV is over right now. So what you just need to do now is just formatting. Do you understand right now? And there's another thing I would like to talk about in this education. If you don't have anything, maybe you don't have any STEM degree, you don't have any certification or anything, what you can do is that you can use your Google Data Analytics or any other certification you have. You can use it to replace your education here, because what the education is trying to see is that you actually pass through some training. Do you understand right now? So from here now, the next thing is just for me to format everything. So if you see that, one thing that is very important is that in CV, if you want it to pass ATS, you are not going to add any icon. If you see what I have in my CV now, there's no icon, there's nothing. You are not going to add any line that will be drawing under each of all these things. There's no any line, there's no drawing, there's nothing. This is where it will be, and everything must be left aligned. So everything must be left aligned. So you see that I'm not doing center, I'm not centering anything, I'm not left aligning area, I'm not right aligning anything. So everything is left aligned. So how are we going to then do this? So the next thing we are going to do is just to format everything. So let's say, for example, my name. So the next thing for my name is to bold everything. So let me do Ctrl B. So let me make this big now so that people can see. So let me do Ctrl B, and again you can leave the text like this, or it doesn't really change anything. So Ctrl B, and let me just increase my name to, like, I don't know, so maybe something like maybe 16. So you said, I said we are not going to do center or anything. So what we are going to do is just do the tab key, just tab it to the center. 1, 2, 3. So if it's not centered enough, you can use space to put it at the center. So all this will remain the same. So nothing is going to touch this one. So you see your city, your country, the country you are residing, your phone number, email address, your LinkedIn profile, and your portfolio. So that is going to be there. So then put another space in between the top. So professional summary too. Professional summary, we are going to bold it. Also, let's increase it. So let's say, I think it's okay at, let me put it at 13, or let me put it at 14. So we are not going to center it. It will still be left aligned. So what you just need to do is do tab, put it at center. So if you center it, it's going to confuse the ATS. Do you understand right now? So because the way the ATS work is that it will take this document, process it again, and put everything in left aligned. So if everything is not aligning, it might not be able to read it very well. Do you understand right now? So the next thing is we leave this the way it is, or if we want to go to ChatGPT, what ChatGPT gave us earlier, if we want to maybe copy some of it, if you like, you can make changes to it. But I don't think there's any much difference, because if you see, it's also talking about stakeholder satisfaction, and I had stakeholders, something working with both external and internal stakeholders, which I've already stuck. So the next thing we are going to do now is that our professional experience, we also make it bold. So you can even do this. Let me just do this. So I'll just do formats. Where's the format in this? I don't know. So let me this is 14. So this is also going to be 14. So ensure there's consistency in what you have. So I'm not going to do center, I'm just going to tab it to the center. Do you understand now? So you see that I'm just tabbing everything to the center. So the next thing is that the company that I worked for, so the company that I work for, I'll bold it, and then let me put it at 12. So I'll leave let me put it at 13. So I'll leave the city and the country the same. The December, the year, and the month and the year, I'll leave it the same to present. So the only thing that I'm going to change right now, I'll also call attention. Do we need to use any particular font? So you can use any font you like, but what you should have in mind is legibility. It should be legible enough. So what you should have in mind is legibility. So don't use any special font that it will be difficult for them to read. Do you understand now? So legibility is what you should have in mind. So the next thing, I'll also bold this one. I'm not going to increase the font. I'll just bold it. I'm not going to increase the font. So the reason why I'm putting bold in something is that, it's just human psychology. Everything that has boldness now, it's things that will call their attention. Do you understand right now? So for my experiences now, so I'll just highlight everything that I have under my experiences. I'll highlight it, do bullet list, and I'll look at the line spacing between them. So I think the line spacing is too much. Let me change it to single line spacing. So I'll just change it to single line spacing. So that is for my experience. You can see right now that it's coming out, it's shaping out. So the next experience also, so I'll just do the next experience. So bold it, so do it 13. So data analyst Power BI, bold it. And also for this one, for this experience, I'm going to just bullet point, put it in single line spacing. That's fine. So the next one, blue tech, still do the same thing, bold it 13. So my experience, my title, bold it. So do bullet point for this. So do bullet point for this and change this to single line spacing. So the next one, Ecotech Limited, do bullet points, this 13, this, and I think this is already in bullet point. So let me just look at the spacing between them. So let me put it to single spacing. So education, bold. Wait, let me see, what do I have for this one? Professional experience, 14. So education too should be 14. So like I said, you just tap to the center. You don't need to use center align or anything, so that it doesn't affect what you are doing. So to call attention, you call attention to the name of the school you attended in this under education. So just bold this, bold it, and I think that is enough. And the next thing, technical skills. So technical skills, bold it, and that's, is it 14? Okay, 14. Okay, so technical skills. So tab it to the center and change the line spacing to single. So to certification, so tab it to the center, and this one you don't need to call any attention to anything. So if you see everything we have now is just under 2 pages. Everything we have now is just under 2 pages. So nothing spoiled, nothing bad. It's just under 2 pages. So the next thing now is that, I don't know if anybody wants to talk. Let me just see if anybody has any questions. So we just entertain some people to ask some question. So So let me just answer some questions. So they say some people said it's best to have 1-page CV. Which one is best? Like I said, the best thing is that you should have 2-page. The best thing is you should have 2-page. But imagine this everything I've put here now is just like 6 years experience. So imagine I have 10 years experience. 2 pages cannot contain my 10 years experience. Do you understand now? 2 pages cannot contain my 10 years experience. So the most important thing is just to ensure that if you have a good professional summary and they see like 2 or 3 of your experience, it is enough. No, but even these two pages, some recruiters are so very lazy that they will not go through everything. Do you understand right now? So they are so lazy that they will not go through everything. So the most important thing is that capture your experience. Even if you have 10 years, if you want to list it there, some job will say they need 10 years experience. So Kwambina, after how do you test the ATS ChatGPT? So actually, this is a bit tricky because for me, I don't really test what ChatGPT has given me again, because the ATS, any ATS you are taking it to, is also built on all this AI. Their underlying working, if you know, if you understand data science very well, their underlying working is also this AI. So what does something that is built on ChatGPT, what does another software want to test that is better than what ChatGPT will test? Do you understand right now? So that is my own philosophy. Though if you are not sure, you can take this over. Hello, Blessing.
Good evening, sir. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, so my first question is, do you know when you're applying for civil service jobs?
Okay.
You know, they'll tell you not to include anything that, that might identify you. So now, based on this CV, after I've done all of the CV, will I just copy all of these things and paste on, civil service websites based on the job I'm applying for? I don't know if you understand my question.
Yes, I get your question. So what usually happens is that most of all this job, I've actually not used civil service because where I stay in the UK is Northern Ireland. So it's either I'm always looking at HSCNI. England is where you get all the civil service. So I'm sure that what will happen is that they usually have maybe a way you can log in. Once you create an account, you don't need to put your details somewhere again. Do you understand right now? And I'm sure once you log in, you'll be able to see. Let me look at the job again that we were looking at the other time. Did I cancel it? I'm not sure. Let me see. I just want to show you something.
Okay, sir.
This is the job we were looking at the other time. You see, it's saying continue on the employer's website. So if I click on continue on the employer's website, so this is something most of all these UK job websites, especially the public something, maybe civil service or NHS, HSCNI or anything. So you already have a login account, you just keep selecting and putting the required information. So I'm not sure how that question will come in, because I believe there will be a way for them to identify you. The purpose of your name on the CV is for you to be identified that, okay, this thing belongs to you. Do you understand that? I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, okay, so the second question is, for example, for me, I studied data analytics, right?
Okay.
And my previous experience was banking, like over 6 years in banking.
Okay.
But ever since I've done that data analytics, for me, I would say I'm like 60%. For data analysis, I would say I'm 60%. What's the English? Like, to some extent, I know it's 60%.
Okay.
So now, and currently, I'm still doing customer service at the moment.
Okay.
So now, if I want to move from customer service to, start a data analytics role, especially working from home.
Okay.
What would you advise? How will I, transfer my skills to getting a data analytics role from home?
Yeah, it's very easy. It's just understanding job description and understanding where you are. If you see this job that we are looking at now, if for example you have experience in banking and there's no way, whether you have, I don't know, whether somebody sent it to you, whether somebody opened it in front of you, you would have seen Excel before, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So in banking now, you can leverage something like financial data analysis. You understand now? Financial analyst, you can call yourself financial analyst. But for this job, you won't put financial analyst, but your experience will be like, I use so to analyze banking data to see that, okay, when you use ChatGPT to give you experience. Do you understand now? And another thing I used to say,
all these roles now,
yes,
they want me to be an expert. Like, are there intermediary roles or like, beginner roles in IT that can, for me to navigate? Because I don't know if you understand. You're an expert.
Yes,
So
yes,
if you
yes.
give me a job now and I cannot pass probation, I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. What I'm just saying is that there are two. The question you are asking now, there are two answers for it now. The first answer is that everything you have done before, you should find a way to translate it, and it's just means of packaging. So that's what I'm trying to answer. The first one is that you package the banking as financial data analyst. The customer service, you package it as customer or there's what we call customer data analysis or something like that. Do you understand now? So the next thing is that once you know how to use Excel, once you know how to use Power BI, you know how to use SQL. The next thing is to be able to understand what we call SME, subject matter expertise. So for example now, the industry you are going to now, they will give you probation of 6 months. The first 3 months they expect you to know something. So they will do it in 3 months and in 6 months. So the first thing is that they will not ask you to be, designing something in front of them. What they will ask you is that we have this problem. How can we do it? Well, let me give you my own example. When I started in UK, the first job I got was something for the ambulance services, and my previous experience was digital marketing. Do you understand now? My previous experience was digital marketing. So what I did was, first I built different portfolios. So I used one of my healthcare portfolios that I've built and explain and use as some of the things that I explained in the interview. And when I started working, they were not giving me any big thing. They were just giving me small things for me to understand the system, like the way their data works. So I will understand different data dictionaries and stuff like that. And it started from, okay, update this dashboard, do this ad hoc analysis, do that, do this. So within 3 months, I already understood a lot of things. And it is not some things I don't understand. The way it works is that when you have a report or you have an analysis to do, they will join you with somebody. That's the way it is in the industry. They usually lead and support. The lead is the person that is meant to do the work. The support is that if you don't understand, you talk to this person, you and the person will brainstorm. The support will usually be somebody that has been in the company maybe even 6 months ago or a year ago. So for example, I need a data, or I need something, or I need a document. It's that support that will point me to where the document is for me to do my job. So the most important thing is you understanding the skills you need to do the work. The next thing is expertise. Do you understand now? The next thing is expertise. So and the expertise is just for example now, as you're working you said you do customer service, right? Yeah, there are some things before you got into customer service that you don't know. It's when you got there that they explain to you that, okay, if a customer calls and there's an issue like this is how you escalate it, this is where you go to.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what the most important thing they needed you to do is that to be able to pick call or to be able to talk to the customer, you have some skills that you told them you demonstrate, maybe compassion, ability to clinical. Do you understand now? So all those skills are things you'll be putting in place in day-to-day activities. Do you understand now? In your day-to-day activities. But the main purpose, your main skills does not change, or it gets you improve the skill. So that is the way it works in the industry. You can't say you want to know everything before you start. You have to start. But what I used to tell people is that you know Excel, you know Power BI, you know SQL. Then what you need to learn is subject matter expertise, and you can get that by building. If you are targeting healthcare now, start building healthcare projects. So once you start building healthcare projects, you'll be able to know that, okay, these are the way, some terminologies. For example, now I work in healthcare, so we have different terminologies, maybe daily discharge, admission or the admission rate. There are some more those terminologies and the ways they calculate them. Do you understand now?
Okay.
So I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you very much.
Yes. You're welcome. Do I have anybody that?
Do you prepare people for interview?
Yes, I do prepare people for interview. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Any question? Okay, Ope Olua, send your request again and I will set. Hello, Ope. Hello. Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for this. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Okay, so my question is, I have a background in pharmacy. I was actually a pharmacist back in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I've been trying to transition into data analysis here in the UK. So I did a boot camp, and so I'm kind of familiar with Excel, SQL, and Power BI. But my issue now is I've been trying to build a portfolio. So I don't know where is best to host the portfolio. Is it on GitHub, or do you have any other portfolio website you can suggest?
Okay, first thing is that you need to have GitHub. So GitHub is a compulsory something for everybody in tech. So after that, there are two ways to it. Is either you build a website to host all those things. It will then link back to GitHub. So you can use GitHub to build the website. You don't need to pay for anything. Or if you feel like you can pay for a WordPress or something like that. So another thing is that if you don't, it's a bit complicated because you need to understand all these HTML and stuff like that. So another one I used to tell people is datascience.io. Let me just bring it up for you here so that you see it.
Okay.
So it's datascience.io. There are other ones too. Datascienceportfolio.io. So I don't really have anything there of my own. So this is the website. So datascienceportfolio.io. So once you go there, you can build your own portfolio and it will look like something like this. You see this person's own. So this person has something like Airbnb listing price prediction. So this is more of machine learning and Python and stuff like that. So if we click on it, let me click on it and do maybe read more or something like that. Why is it not coming up? Let me see. Let me explore projects here. So for example, I just want to see something that is easy for us to see. So this is domesticated animal image classification. So this is also machine learning or something like that. So this project will link back to GitHub. If you click on it now, it will link us back to GitHub. Do you understand now? So but it is easy. You don't need to start doing maybe building a website or anything. So you just go there, put the about of the project and the skills you have used in building the project, and then linked. So sometimes it might be this. If I click this now, it might be Google Drive link or something like that. You see, it's a Google Drive link, so it doesn't even exist anymore. So, but if I click on this GitHub, it will take me to the person's GitHub. It's not even existing. I don't know. The person just share. So that's what they call Sakam and J in the tech industry. So, but this is how the website will look like, and you can put anything here and you can add it to your LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn and on your LinkedIn, if you go to your profile, there's usually a place where they will ask you to put portfolio.
Okay.
You see portfolio. So this is my own GitHub. So it links back to my GitHub. So I built everything like this in GitHub. So I don't know if I'm chance. Maybe I can do a live session of how to build all these things. So I built something like this on GitHub. Like everything that you are seeing now is on GitHub. And there's this guy on YouTube, Alex the Analyst. If you check his playlist, you see something called how to build a portfolio website.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Yeah, so that's how to build it. But like I said, if you want to build something like this, you still need a bit of programming language. Web development language like HTML, CSS, and stuff like that. So if you go through this data science portfolio, you won't have to do all those things. Do you understand right now?
Okay.
So,
Another question.
okay.
I'm also trying to break into healthcare finally. So my question is, what kind of project do you use for health?
Okay, so the thing is that I used to tell people that there are different industries, like almost all the industries we have right now, they need data analysts, and some are just realizing it, some have been using it for a very long time, and some with the advent of data, we are generating more data than usual right now, so they need more data analysts to help them. So you that you have background in healthcare, you are a pharmacist, so I'll just suggest you target the NHS, you target healthcare data. Do you understand right now? So if you go on NHS, you will see, if you search for information analyst or data analyst, you see a lot of data analyst job, and the only issue is that the entry level pay is not always, it's not always sweet. That's why I used to tell people that it's the way you package yourself. It's not compulsory you go with the entry level, but if you feel like you want to build yourself, you can do this for like 6 months and you move up. So this is something like entry level something. This is an entry level data analyst. So usually like maybe from band 5 upward. So this one is Everyone Health Limited. So this is a private company actually. But if it is going to be around if it's going to be NHS, you always see NHS something, NHS Foundation Trust in front of it. So you always see NHS in front of all these ones. So but most of them, this is where you can get healthcare related job as a data analyst. Do you understand right now? So you have healthcare experience already, so it will be easier for you to transition into healthcare, because there are some terminologies they use and stuff like that, so it will be easier. But the only thing you just need to start doing is that start building projects around healthcare. So, and how to do that, if you go to Cargo, there's a website called Cargo.
Yeah.
So don't know, let me see. So if you come to data set and you just search for maybe hospital, just search for hospital, you see a lot of maybe something on just filter to a data set. So you see hospital ratings, hospital general information, predicting hospital readmissions. So let's say for example this one is really an interesting topic. So what you just need to do is that you just see this kind of data. If there's any analysis or discussion that is going on it, do you understand now? So sorry, if there's any analysis or discussion that's going on it, so you can just follow up and build something of your own. So it's not compulsory you build what somebody has built. You can just use the data to build something of your own. Do you understand now? So that's about the healthcare.
Okay. Thank you so much. But the thing is, I don't know anything about Python yet.
No, you don't. As a data analyst, you don't need to know. Python is actually optional. So, but what I used to say is that it's not as for a starter. You don't need to understand Python before you start looking for a job. Do you understand right now? So it's just that if you know Python, it will help you fast track your career, because there are some things that it's only Python that can do it. There are a lot of automations you need to do in the industry and something like that. So, and one of the things is that for me, I know Python, so it is also a must for me. Okay, somebody said for a senior data analyst. So for the fact that I'm a senior data analyst, so I need to do Python. So, and that was one of these. Knowing Python is even something that helped me to get to that particular role. So because you can. What's happening? I don't know. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
So knowing Python is one of the things that even helped me to scale up in the career. So because they used to have some issue of something related to automation, and from there I built something. We have something we call ETL, extract, transform, and load. So using Python to build something like that, it makes sense. So somebody, can you help me with site link again, sir? What site is that? So I think CV, immaculate CV, or have I answered all your question?
Yes, you've answered. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, I would like to ask. Are there other data analytics, where you don't have to code, you don't have to, interpret data, like you're just doing the administrative part?
It's a bit tricky because if you are not coding, you have to be interpreting. Do you understand now? You have to be interpreting data, and usually people like maybe people that are in business related, they are not really doing any coding or anything, but they just need to be able to interpret data and use software that data analysts use to manipulate data. And the question you ask again, why I said it's a bit tricky, is that when you scale up in the career path of the data analyst, you get to a particular level where you don't need to code anything. You just need to understand what needs to be done and what system you need to use. For example, we have people who call information manager or data lead. Do you understand now? So those are the ones that you don't need to code. And again, another thing is that if you are just like in the every level of data, you won't do coding or anything, so they'll just be asking you, go and use Excel to bring this and transform it, go and use. So that is data. And somebody saying data entry role, so there's difference between data analysis and data entry. Data entry, you are not coding at all, and it's different from data analysis entirely. So data entry is just that, for example, now your company have a digital system where they register everything. So if somebody brings a document to the company, you have to enter it into the system. That's data entry. Or somebody, for example, you are working in an hospital, they have healthcare record they use. So maybe nurse can bring record of patients to you. You then enter the record into the system. So all those ones, you are not analyzing anything, you are not doing anything, you are just entering data. But I don't know what's the career part of that or how to scale from that. But one thing is that as a data analyst, coding is not, I don't know why people are running from coding, but it will be another discussion for another day. So so what about data specialists? I've not heard of that role before. Well, I don't know, I've not heard of that role before. What about data specialists? I don't know. We'll check, or you can use ChatGPT to check. So data engineering is actually different. So data engineering is people that bring the data from the raw state to a clean state for us to be able to, for data analysts, data scientists, machine learning engineers to be able to use it. Do you understand now? So data engineering requires coding. You cannot run away from coding. You have to know how to code, especially Python, Scala, PySpark, SQL. So you'll be doing majorly coding, and you have to understand cloud technologies like Azure and maybe AWS, depending on what your system is using. So you cannot run away from coding. That one is a must. So, and there are some Python libraries you need to know, like Airflow, Apache PySpark. So you can't run away from coding. There's no way you want to do that. So that's for data engineering. So immaculate CV, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good evening. Sorry for keeping you waiting. So I just say I should answer some questions in the.
No, it's alright. I know.
Yeah.
I actually sent a request when the CV was on before. So I think, what's it called?
Maybe I did not see it. Yes.
Yes, I was just trying. I was trying to shed some light on something I noticed on the CV. Maybe it can help one or two people.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, like watching the live. I think I can still register. I registered some in my head. There's this thing in CV because I've written CV for the past 8 years.
Okay.
Before all this GPT and all of that, I've written more than 4,000 CVs for people.
Okay.
As well. So one thing I just wanted to point out is that people should avoid the use of first-person language in the CV, because that was the first thing I caught. But for instance, maybe a start of a bullet point is I built so one thing, or build I build something. You see that first person language I needs to be excluded because it is more if you give me that kind of CV, it looks like a storybook to me.
Okay.
So it's like there's this thing they call recruiters they say it in this way like it's like a textbook.
Okay.
So I just wanted to I want to point that one out for maybe people that are watching.
Okay.
They want to like
Okay.
okay. And taking their CV to different roles. But all these little things, they are something that you meet a lot of recruiters, different people.
Okay.
So it's always good to make sure that it's up to the spark.
Yeah.
So you get what I mean? So,
yeah, I get you. So yeah.
And also in the summary, if people can make sure that the sentences are no more than like 5 sentences, just to keep it very concise and it's the nail on its head. You get. So
yes.
but another one is that in the summary, we already know that you know how to use Python in your experience. You get. So I based on experience, I feel like you do not need to mention it again in your summary. You need to give them something like it. If you want to sell like food now, you are just starting a business, and you are very sure that what you are cooking is really delicious. You'll be eager to want to give people, taste that. What do they call it? Like, just give them things that come on, try this thing now for free. I don't know if you've met some people on the street of UK before that they will be selling. It's not that they sell drink, but it's like they will just have like a small, like I won't say it's a cooler, but they can just give you like energy drink, just small drink, like people walking on the street, they'll just give you. You get what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that summary, you don't have to mention a Python thing because already is in your technical skill.
Okay.
It is already listed. And obviously if you've incorporated it in your experience as well. So, too much of repetition of I know how to do this, I know how to do this, I know how to do this. I mean, it's good to brag what you know how to do, but I'm just trying to say that it should not be too much of repetition. Do you understand? So, you want to give them something really, you just want to sell yourself quickly that they want to read the rest of the professional experience. And there's one mistake that people make as well. When you have like your current job, you'll be working from 2021 to present. Today, we're in 2025.
Yes.
For people who just put like 6 bullet points. So you want to take that from 2021 to 2025, you're doing 6 things. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So
is it that you have one experience for 6 years or you have different experience within that 6 years?
I'm talking about one position.
Okay. It doesn't make sense at all.
You understand? So I used to see a lot of series like that. And I try to question them that, do you have any other experience? Okay, send me this job description when you applied to this job. Let me see the G. Then when I see the G, I will ask them that did you carry out all the duties and responsibilities?
Okay.
That's when you answer that, okay, I've done this one, I've not done so, or I've done all of it. Then I'll be like, okay, why did you now put like 6? You get what I mean? So
yes.
All I do is just pick out the most eye-catching responsibilities.
Okay.
That will be able to match whatever job that you want to tailor your CV to. Like you said, I like what you said in one place that someone said they used to work in a bank, like bank, and they want to apply for data analysis. And I like what you said when you said their position, they can take you to financial analyst. That approach works like magic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
It was like magic. And you said something as well that I agree with. The duties and responsibilities. You said you just have to understand the duty of that job that you want to apply to. Then just pick what you've done normally in that job, that current job that you have. Just make sure that it's kind of really, it doesn't have to be 100% like the carbon copy.
Yes.
You get what I mean? Because even if it's not carbon copy, the recruiter said, you know that this CV is not original. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's just what I wanted to just
thank you for your input. Yeah. You know, the most of everything you have said, I think I agree with everything. The only one I will say I don't agree with is I think like it's just two things. The first one is the one you said that we should not personalize, we should not use I. You know, I'm not writing general CV. Do you understand that? So this is just specific for data analyst. And when I was starting out, one of the problem I faced is that I'll write CV, I'll apply for a job, I won't even get any response. It's just write like this, immediately rejection. Do you understand now? So later I discovered that there's something called ATS, because when in Nigeria I didn't know anything that was called ATS. It was when I got here that I know it. So after sometimes I discovered that ATS. So the reason why you see that there are repetitions in this thing is that I applied for a job. Immediately I applied for that job, I just stood up from my PC, I went to the sitting room and I was like, let me take 1 bottle of water, and I got back to the system again and immediate rejection. So I was like, no way somebody has read this thing, and I got immediate rejection. So the next thing I did was that I was able to, all this job, I'm not sure if I can show one. In NI jobs, the job was posted on NI jobs. They used to put name of people you can contact. So immediately I just went on LinkedIn. I messaged the person. So we discussed and I said, okay, I applied for this job and I got rejected and it's not looking real. So the man gave me his number, we talked, and the next thing he said is that he apologized that the system is that in their own company, they have people that put out the job. Do you understand now? They are in charge of the ATS. So the ATS will filter some people out, and the remaining people that are passed through the ATS are the ones that will then be sent to the recruiters. Because most of those, in those companies, they have people that are just maybe technical recruiters. There are some people that are just maybe, like, they recruit for different things. Some people recruit for tech alone, some people recruit for maybe financial institute alone. You understand now? So when I was talking to the man was like, okay, that what will happen is that I should send my CV again. So the same CV that I sent that ATS rejected, I sent it to the man. He told me that, okay, it's looking fine, but the next thing is that I need to personalize it. Like, and from there, after we talked, the next thing is that I couldn't get the job. I couldn't go on the job because I was actually shortlisted for the job. That's another thing I want to talk about, unconventional way of applying for job. So I was actually shortlisted for the job, but I couldn't move on with them because they don't offer sponsorship. So I couldn't move on with the job. They don't offer sponsorship. So since then I understand that I need to personalize. And from interview, I interviewed for a particular job and I got on the waiting list. And the only thing that separated me and the guy that got the job was because the guy said I did, and everything they correlated it with the CV. Do you understand now? But in my own CV, there was no personification there. And again, I didn't use enough, I did this, and they said from there I didn't sell myself enough. So that's the I means that you can do this, it is what you can do. You yourself, that's why they want to employ you. They need somebody that can do all those things, and with your experience you have to tell them that you have done all those things. And because of ATS, that is why repetition of some things, because all these ATS, like I said, I don't write general CVs just for data analyst. And if I show you my this thing, I don't like these are different version of my CV, different version of it. So that is the way it is. So if you don't have repetition of all those things there, sometimes if you have some paid ATS website, if you go there, if you tell you the number of keywords that you have in your listing and the number of keywords that are not repeated, it will even indicate for you to repeat some of the keywords, so that once you do the repetition, you'll be able to scale through, because in those ATS they have the number of keywords they look for, like it will match, maybe 80% match. So that is what I got from recruiters. That is why, and that is what has been working for me. And even if I go for interview, the way I'm designing my CV, I'm designing it so that it will be also some kind of preparation for interview. Do you understand now? So that is the way I design. Any other thing that you have said, like I said, you are more of a generalist, and I don't have that number of years of experience. But as a data analyst, as a senior data analyst, and that's what I've been used to, and that is what I've been doing that has gotten me to this level. So any other thing, I don't know, maybe if anybody then try something else, but for me, this is what has been working for me, and that is why I'm teaching it. So that is all I have to say on that. So this one says, guys, I have an interview on Tuesday, compliance administrator. So I think interview discussion is going to be for another day, because whatever you are going to be asked in your interview will be in your job description. So the time is gone already, so the time is fast spent. So we have to make that for another day. So thank you guys for joining. I don't know if anybody has any question again. Is there any question before we just round up the live? And even though you guys did not support me enough, but thank you for showing up.
And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You've gone silence again. I can't hear you again.
Well, like.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I think it's just like my choice of word. When I said personal life, I think what I'm just trying to pass across is see like anything like I, my, in CV.
Yes.
That's what I'm just trying to say. That it is not like professional. You see, it's just something like I said, there are different. You see, I, my. They are mostly like. Do you know? To brag in cover letters.
Do you know that most UK job sites, they don't you don't even need to submit CV. It's only sometimes when recruiters are advertising that I need to submit CV for them. For example, now if you go on NHS or if you go on HSCNI, the way their website is structured is that you log in and then start putting in your details.
Yeah.
So where I used to work before, there's this issue that happened. They had most of the analysts that came through, some of them just finished masters, so they were recruited for band 5. So there was an opening for band 6, and they discovered that almost, I don't think they had like 3 people in their internal system. They thought that they should apply for the band 6, and then it would be easier for them, for at least one of them will get the job. So they discovered that almost all the 3 of them, nobody was shortlisted for the band 6. And after that, what they discovered is that they met with the HR. HR said that the way they have written their let me see if I can pull up a job description. I just want to pull up a job description. So let me bring band 5 job description. Let me see if it will load. Okay, so this is one for the HSCNI, so it's just an equivalent of NHS. So you see this, let me show you something. They have this essential criteria. You see from this essential criteria, this is everything they will ask you in your. You see where they shortlisted the application form. When you are applying for this job in the website, you log in, they will ask this question: you see, this criteria is checking for your qualification or experience. It will say have a degree or recognized professional qualification or equivalent qualification in a data science, computer science, or maths or statistics field, and have 1 year experience in business intelligence or data analyst role. Or so they get different or some things that you can have if you don't have the above. So if you are answering this question and I said, and they ask you, do you have a degree or recognize something, and you say yes, you have already lost a lot of points. You have to say you have the degree, and if you have first class there, fine, you say you have first class. If you don't have first class, you say this thing. You see, this and now is now asking you, I have 1 year experience. So you have to also state the number of years of experience. So I have a degree. You see the way I'm answering the interview, the question now. I have a degree. So it's starting with I have a degree and I have this experience before. That is the way you put it there. So it's an equivalent of CV. Do you understand now? Because at the end of the day, somebody that will review it, especially all this government something, they review it. And you have the way I've learned it, because I have made some mistake where I don't, I was like, they will understand, they will see this. I don't make assumption again. Do you understand now? I don't make assumption again. So if you feel like I'm overselling myself, definitely some recruiters will feel like that, but they want the best for the people they are trying to recruit for also. That's the way I feel it should be like.
Oh yeah. I understand, like, I think we are just talking about two different things now.
Okay.
That's what you said now. The same thing on civil service websites, whereby you have a login, and they will tell you to when it gets to the skill part, yes, they will not tell you to input your skill. It's in a small box.
Yes, you see everything. Just you see the way they have written it here now. Yeah. For them to get called in for interview, this one now shortlisted by shortlisting by application form. So all this one shortlisting by application form. Those questions will be asked in the application form, and those guys now, for the fact that they have been working for for the company and everything like that, it did not save them. Or it did not give them preferences. They didn't answer this question very well, and that was why our line manager, because it was when I got there, I heard the story. Because when I got there, they need to do seminar on how to apply for job and how to all these things. Now it was the line manager that now explained to us that if you are answering this thing, you want to answer it as detailed enough as possible. For example, now they can say, do you have knowledge of use of SQL? If they say, do you have knowledge of use of SQL? You can say yes, you have knowledge of use of SQL. But that has not answered what they want to see. You have to say yes, I have knowledge of use of SQL. I've used SQL to do this, and so that is what I've been doing, and it has really been working for me. And that is why I've always been putting it in CV too. Like even if I need to send to recruiters, because I talk to recruiters directly. I don't want to. If I open my LinkedIn, their name will be showing. So I don't want to open my LinkedIn. So I talk to recruiters most of the time, especially. The issues that some of them, they have my details already, so sometimes they just call, are you available? So sometimes they have temporary job, but I'm not looking for anything temporary. So the way it will work is that even if you have applied for something before with them and they have your CV, even if it's just yesterday, they will still ask you to send another CV. They just want to, it has to be tailored, and to me you have to, I don't know, I've always been using it. I designed this, I did this, I did that. So guys, let's like the live and let's move it up. I hope we are getting my point. I understand your point, but I'm just saying, it might be for general something, but for data analysts that I know, this is how I've been doing it, and I've done it for a lot of people too. I've done it for a lot of people, and it's worked for them.
I understand you. It's just like the same thing for civil service, when they will tell you to use your skill, your professional experience. But there's one part that they will tell you that you should just remove your name.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes. So I think Blessing said something like that too. Me, I'm not in England, so most of the time I don't even apply for civil service jobs. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think concerning in for NHS or?
Yeah, thank you, Lola. Thank you. Yeah.
is what's it called? Is not formats like you said. So I agree with what you said, Sha. I agree.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate your inputs. Thank you so much. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So
yeah, I'll follow you now because I was just on TikTok and I just saw your live.
Okay. Okay.
Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, good
Thank
night.
you. Bye-bye.
So before we end, is there any? So okay, tomorrow I want to go live tomorrow again, but I will not be discussing CV. What I want to discuss tomorrow is just how people will be able to, build their own personal projects. I discovered that a lot of people have, gone through different boot camps and everything, but they can't still build their own projects, and that is one of the reasons why people don't want to apply for job. And that is where the question that if I get this job, will I be able to pass probation? Will I be able to? That is where the question is coming from. So I just want to show you the process you have to go through to be able to build your own project. So once you can do that, you will be confident to get any job. You won't be scared of any job again, because what is happening in the real world and what you are doing in your boot camp, they're a bit different. So you need to understand how to bridge the gap. So I don't have the time yet now, so I think I might have to start very early, so maybe probably by 8 or 9 p.m. So 8 p.m. sure, I'll try 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So is there any question again before we end the live? So I think we've talked about websites you can use for your portfolio. But for CV, like I said, you have to understand how to build a CV. So we just went through how to build CV. So this is just something we have built on this live. So, and you have to tailor everything to your job description. It's not that this that you have built now is just a template, and also you can combine ChatGPT with everything you are building. So I was even building some from the scratch, and we combined ChatGPT to it, and we were able to merge it together with what we were doing before. So for data sample, if you go to Kaggle, I think I showed Kaggle the other time. So if you go to Kaggle, you see data samples there. So kaggle.com, and there are other sites I can't remember now. So there are other sites where you can maybe target healthcare sites alone and healthcare data alone. So I will still look for other site and talk about that in my video. So what's your thought about IBM data analyst course? So actually I did the course, but the problem I have with them is that what's even the problem? There's this business intelligence tools they were teaching. I've forgotten the name. Is only limited to IBM. Most of all these corporations, they will teach what is their own subject, but what you need to understand is market share. There's something we call market share. Do you understand now? There's something we call market share. For example, now Google has Google Sheets, they have Google BigQuery, and they have Google Looker. So all those three things, their equivalent again is Excel, SQL, Power BI. So same thing with Amazon. Amazon too has its own too. So IBM too has its own. So the problem now is that in your environment, which one is actually running? If you are in the UK, what you should be looking at is Excel, SQL Server, and Power BI. Those are the three things you should be looking at. So that is why I'm not really a fan of IBM. So for Google Data Analytics, why I still like Google Data Analytics is that some of the things they teach there, you can still relate back to Excel, SQL Server, and Power BI. You can still relate them back to Excel, SQL Server, and Power BI. So if you're in US, Canada, or most of all those American countries, you should be looking at Google. Do you understand now? You should be looking at Google. You should be looking at Google Sheets. Be looking at Google BigQuery, which is also the data warehouse or for SQL, and you should be looking at Google Looker. Do you understand now? But the issue is that Google Looker is not really popular like that because it has a lot of limitation and it's not really sophisticated. So what people in US and Canada and all those American countries, what they do is that they use Tableau. They use Tableau to substitute for Google Looker. So if you are in US, you should be looking at Google Sheets. You can combine it with Excel also, but whatever you know in Excel, you can translate it to Google Sheets because they look alike very well. So SQL, wherever you know in Google BigQuery is also what will work in SQL. So Tableau and Power BI, they do the same thing. So Tableau is a bit better than Power BI actually, but in UK they are majorly Microsoft stack. Any organization, any company you get to, they are using Microsoft. So that is what you should also be focusing on. So any question again, guys?
Hello. Thanks for bringing me up.
You're welcome.
Just my question is regarding CV.
Okay.
Did you just copy it straight from the spec into Google GP chat, or how did you?
Yes. Let me just give you an overview of everything. So we started building everything from scratch. Do you understand right now? So what we just did again is just incorporated ChatGPT into it to help us build faster. And you copy the job description. You give it a prompt. This is the prompt. Can you see it, or do you want me to zoom it?
Read out the prompt for me. I can't really see. It's too tiny.
Okay, let me try and see if I can make it.
Let me do that. Okay, yeah, I can see that now. Yeah.
So you see now the prompt is just I will give you a job description, use the keywords in the job description to build an ATS-friendly CV and cover letter. Ensure that the CV has 4 professional experiences, not more than 6 bullet points, and no internship. So this is my own personal prompt that I use for CV. Do you understand right now? And it's because I have 4 professional experiences. If you have 5 or 6, you should put it for him. Do you understand now?
Okay.
So, and the number of bullet points, it doesn't really make sense if you're having more than 6. You can have 7, but because of the number of experience. For example, if it's just only one experience you have for the past, the CV we built was for something of 7 years experience, or I think from 2018 to 2025 years now. So if it's just one experience you have for the whole 6 years, definitely you have more than 6 bullet points. You cannot tell us it's just 6 points something. But if you have different experiences, it's just like what the bullet point is just going to summarize what you have done in each of all those experiences. Do you understand right now? And
okay.
Removing internship. Sometimes the CV would assume that you start as an intern. So I did not want you to put that I started as an intern, because actually I started with a different with a different company. So it was different experience, digital marketing. So from there I usually just change that experience to data analyst, because more or less some of the things I did there was related to the data analysis. So after that it will generate all this for you. So you just pick some of the things there. For example, to generate, so it will ask you to supply the job description after you send the prompt. So we supply the job description. So this is the job description, and from there to start generating the CV for you, your name, phone number, email address, LinkedIn. So just everything, specifically your name, phone number, email address, location, LinkedIn, portfolio, professional summary. After that, it will put your technical skills. From there, it will put your experience. But what I usually do is put the technical skills below the experience, so that once they see the professional summary, then it follows my experience follows. Do you understand now? So you put your education, and that's everything we built into this. So we just pick a job description and tailor our CV to that job description. So every time we are picking another job description, it will be something different entirely.
Yeah.
But it's just follow this structure, this format that we are seeing. That's the format, that's the structure it will just follow. But it will just be something different entirely. So it will always be different. It will always be different every time. So because this is my own this thing that I use, like different applications, different CV, different application, different CV, but it's just the same structure, but for different job.
Okay. So you have your professional summary experience. Where do you put the education and the
education will be at the bottom.
Skills?
It will be above the technical skills. Okay. So like I said, it's might due to it might be your own preference. Do you understand right now? But for me, I just like to have my education above my technical skills, and again, you would have mentioned it in your professional summary. So for example, I've already mentioned I have a master's degree in data science, this is should not be more than 5 lines or something like that. So something, if it's going to a job, a recruiter or something like that, they can just read this and then get interested in reading the rest of your stuff. But if at the point they read this and it doesn't interest them or attract them, or it's not even in line with what they are looking for, because every job they have what they are looking for. Do you understand right now? So for example, now this is more of Power BI, SQL, and Azure. So that is most of what I've written here. If I start writing Excel, writing Microsoft Access, writing Microsoft Teams, it doesn't really make sense. Or I just say, okay, the personal summary should be something, a point of attraction. That's just the way it should be.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, any other question, guys? Okay, so if there's no question, then we'll meet tomorrow.
What other tool you use apart from this ChatGPT? Is that your own preference?
Yeah, there are other AI tools. There's this one from China was DeepSeek. There's even Cloud. There's Gemini, but I just find this one easy for me because I don't just know. Maybe it's the first LLM language that came out, so I just find it easy and it has been working for me. So you can use anyone. Do you understand right now? So the point is just that you know the right prompt to give. Do you understand? So the whole point is the prompt you are giving. So, and again, some people after they have this, they do go back to different ATS websites. So I don't know if it's choice, and I don't do that actually because I believe that it's an AI that is powering them. Most of all these people, they usually find a way to do some API back to ChatGPT that will then power their own system. So if ChatGPT is giving me this, why should I go and cross-check again with another AI that is being powered by ChatGPT or powered by another AI company? Do you understand right now? So it's just a means of collecting money from people. But sometimes if they are not sure, because what all those companies do is that this job description, you give it to them just as you have given ChatGPT, then you give your CV to them also. So they kind of match how many keywords from the job description you have in your CV. Do you understand right now?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things they just kind of do together. So, but it's choice. But for me, once I do this, I don't use any other thing again. I'm very sure. So,
okay. My final question. You said they match the keywords with your CV. Is there any tool in place? Like if I want to comment on CV, I just want to double check.
There's one I don't think I remember the name, but what you can do is that you can just go to Google, search for CV ATS2 or ATS checker. So you see a lot of them. So this is job scan. So you see a lot of them, but most of the time the problem is that they might give you free stuff maybe for 2 or 3 times, or even if they want to check everything, they will restrict some metrics from you. But you can doing a simple Google search of CV ATS checker, you see different websites there.
I got you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So any other question, guys? So then we'll see tomorrow, and tomorrow it's just about data analytics. I'll be doing dashboard design, how you bring it from Excel to SQL, from SQL to Power BI. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining the live, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.